Wonderful day and welcome. My name is Seph, and yes, this is not part 3 of the Beginner's Guide reboot. I'm sorry, there will be more parts coming soon. This is a little different video for certain reasons. Recently stumbled upon probably switching to clean files soon, and I thought to myself, this is the perfect opportunity since I released my 2.0 rebalance patch lately, to take the time and bring you closer what is actually the differences between Vanilla, Community Edition and 2.0 rebalance patch. Because there's maybe some confusion for certain peoples, and when we can switch to the clean files, we also will be probably available to release just a clean vanilla patch, even with the translations out, and just like that, like complete vanilla with just translations on top of it. So this is the perfect opportunity, because Community Edition is probably like the default thing from our team as client files goes, and I want to tell you what the difference are and show you what you're in for, because some people maybe prefer vanilla, but some people are just confused what is actually different and changed because they don't know, or just came in recently and don't even know there is different versions. So we're gonna take the little opportunity here to bring you that closer, so you can decide what you want to play, what you want to install in your server, like what do you experience will be with the game. Before we right off the bat start here with the vanilla version, I want to note one thing. The game has actually a preview feature. I kinda like announced this before in like Reddit and other parts, or like teasered it, but the game has in-game a preview feature to see equipment, like upgrade paths before even going to that. Which means, let's see, this feature is normally only available for premium equipment, which was the pretty much gacha stuff and real-life bought stuff usually, like the real-life currency bought stuff. And if you look in here, you see that some equipment is just black colored in text and some is yellow colored. If it's yellow, this means it has a feature enabled to preview its upgrades. So if you see here now, I'm like hovering over the yellow one, and then you see in the top left corner it says info. If you then press the button, like for me to select right now, you can see the next upgrade without crafting this item. You see what items you need, you see what stats it gets, and you can do this for the entire tree. It's pretty much like 5th gen previews for weapon trees, where you see the next upgrade, and it's a very huge quality of life, I think. And I just found out recently how to enable this for any equipment. This means this equipment will have it, but also all the standard equipment, like this normal iron dual swords, will have this feature enabled. This opens up a whole new possibility to just check out equipment before even crafting it, because this works on weapons and armors. Like if you go here for an example, I don't know, this chest piece, bam, you can do the same here. You can look up the tiers and obviously also see what you need for upgrade and what you need for the skills changes and whatever. So very handy feature, and I thought that this needs to be enabled for every equipment. Of course, this will change all the equipment, the text color, to yellow, which is maybe not ideal for some people. Like, it's very aggressive color, but I guess this is like one little sacrifice we could do for the quality of life. Maybe there's a way to disable the color or something at some point, but right now, whatever. Also, this feature does work on all the equipment. There's some exceptions, like G-rank weapons specifically, because they have this weird leveling system, which we comment in another video too, of course. So yeah, if you're interested in that, I wanted to clear up that this feature I want to port to all the versions. Like vanilla untranslated, vanilla translated, community edition, and my patch. I don't want to left anyone out. This is a big of quality of life feature, and there will be files available for you to install with this feature enabled on these different versions. Just a little heads up for you, so to clear up that this is not like an exclusive thing just for my patch or something. Right, so with the change to the clean files, you can have vanilla standards. Of course, again, vanilla in the end of the life cycle was a compressed mess. There was a lot of ways to push you fast as possible to the content that was not paid to the paid content, so you like pay faster. And the community edition is pretty much trying to tackle these issues, or like some of these issues, with including Malkir's balance patch. That was not the only reason, and they're gonna talk about this in the community edition part, but pretty much vanilla is pretty simple and yeah, skipping a lot of content. For example, we only gonna go over the changes community edition technically does, because we don't need to take the entire patch for that in, or like the entire game for this in, to explain. And if you look at the hunter rank quests here, pre-G rank, you have only 3 to up to 5 key quests per rank, or like actually that's just 3 or up to 4 per rank, and that's it. Even in Hunter rank 5. And for people who played Hunter rank 5, now say, wait, doesn't this like skip all the like exclusive monsters and content available in Hunter rank 5? Because you just go here to supremacies, have 2 supremacies by the way, the fish and Angdown. And I'm not sure, wait, this is actually repel? I think this is even the repel actually. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all you do, and then bam, you're on G rank. Pretty much, Community Edition does change this to make it more enjoyable to actually play through the content, explore the game, and get through, having like a real sense of progression here again. Then we have the Smithy. And another thing from the vanilla version is armors and like upgrade only with armor spheres. So I don't know what is like the most common armor like people do. For example, the Ruku armor, right? So we have the Ruku armor here. This seems normal. Just yeah, bam, crafting, some materials used. But if you go now and upgrade this armor, you only need armor spheres for upgrading. Yeah, that's right. Leveling up is only armor spheres. Which some people will say, oh, that's pretty cool actually. I like that. We just need to upgrade like armor spheres. It's pretty easy. Like gives you a little boost. On the other hand, this is not ideally because you getting like, obviously this was made to boost you farther again, like faster again through the game, because how the upgrade system in this game works, if you are familiar with it, is you can change tiers of gear to a new version, and having like new skill points, more skill points, getting actually slots on the equipment. You can take like a low rank gear up to like the later even G rank levels eventually, like unrealistic for most stuff, but you can even take it up to like the higher end tiers of the game if you just favorite a certain piece of equipment, which is really nice and one of the features I really like. But how powerful you get in comparison, especially because the game also nerfs monsters. Yes, the compression even affected the monsters, and everything pre-G rank and even like Z1 and Z2 monsters are like heavily nerfed by the compression results. On top of that, you also have the Navi rewards, which I can't just right now show off, but on top of that, the Navi rewards also give you free equipment to pretty much just pre-store you to the game like it is nothing. And if you do it that way, and I will be honest, I'm not judging you, like everyone can play how they want, of course, and if you prefer this, then yes, but as an experience point for this game, you rush through like 12 years of content in less than a few hours, or yeah, even less maybe. and pretty much just skip the whole experience. And in my opinion, it's like something for a game like this, which lived that long, is a very short experience, of course, but also pretty weird. Because then you, like after setting this game up and stuff, you question yourself, what is all this fuss about Frontier? And it's like experience and difficulty and how like different it is from the other games. You pretty much skip off most of that and don't experience at all. The system obviously was different. Before it is like key quest compression or whatever. You had like more keys, you had different levels and whatever. There was more to do to keep you playing, of course. But yeah, Community Edition tries to tackle this a bit. And what can I say? Like on the HR5, for example, you get a full Zero Russo equipment, like a armor set and weapon to pretty much as soon as you reach Hunter rank 5, which is pretty painful. Like if you keep all this in mind, nerfed monsters, quick armor sphere boost for like defense and switching the tiers, then the weapons on top of it, the key quest changes. So those four things like interact and enhance each other to just rush you like supersonic on LSD candy drugs, like to this game like nothing else on this planet. So yeah, I'm rumbling a bit, I'm sorry. I just hate the compression vanilla stuff, but some people may be interested in, and if this is for you, go ahead, you can do it. I don't judge you. It is just the way how some people maybe like to play. Alright, but I'm gonna switch over to the Community Edition files and gonna show you the little differences in these two things right now. Right, back reloaded into the game now with the Community Edition files. We can go over the little changes. The Community Edition files is pretty much an assorted, all-in-one package of like the newest version of our team's pretty much Frontier, like of the updates from Wish and whatever, like included. But it also has changes to tackle these issues I mentioned in the vanilla compression area. So how it does that is including Malkir's balance patch. For anyone does know, Malkir is in the team of the development team, and he pretty much did some stuff. He's a huge Monster Hunter fan, and he did like a lot of time taking editing these files to make it a bit more faithful to the experience and further away from the compression. It was not the only reason why this was included in the Community Edition. To that time, when Community Edition was starting to get live, there was a lot of issues with them, the tools and whatever, and the files crashing often, and it was a mess. Pretty much the files were not stable enough, especially with translations and whatever, and we were pretty limited. So we needed to use Malkir's files, which are mostly based on the clean Japanese files, and so we needed to include those patch anyway with the Community Edition, and on the same time it had the side effect that it like gave you a more faithful experience to what the game was to be. So let's take a look at the key quests now, shall we? If you're looking at the key quests, you're gonna notice each rank has no more. Malkir's balance patch did change the amount of key quests going up to the limit. There's a key quest limit. You can only have so much key quests before G rank, and we hitting this limit, like we using the full potential of this limit with key quests. This key quest list is reworked by me. I did rework this list, but Malkir started with like adding more key quests to each rank. I just reworked a bit because Malkir's list was a bit weird. Nothing against Malkir, of course. It was not for me, so I gone ahead and reworked it. And that's why this edition is actually called Community Edition, because it's an assorted changes and files from the community, of course. So if you look here, we have like way more key quests, and the way I did sort this is pretty much trying to go from objective difficulty from top to bottom. But on the other hand, I wanted to introduce you to at least all the exclusive content in the game at least once. Like when you see here, for example, orange spinners, you have white spinners. You normally skip all this stuff, but now you're getting introduced into like all this exclusive stuff and also giving you a better curve to get used to the mechanics, especially if you come from the newer generations. Obviously, playing an old-gen game is not as easy as it seems, because you need to get used to the older standards and the older gameplay, and this key quest list change should at least help you getting more used to your weapon sets, like your move sets and the monster move sets, and pretty much introduce you more. It's like the same way as Capcom will do it in like the mainline games, introducing you into monsters, getting progressively harder with the ranks. Obviously, because of the key quest limit, there is limitations. I can't include like any subspecies, because one thing I didn't mention is the compression compressed not only the key quests down, but also the ranks. Hunter rank like 1 and 2 are the complete entirely of low rank. 3 and 4 are the complete entirety of high rank. 5 and 6 are usually like their own special rank, but we're gonna unite this into like elite rank, so it's less confusing. Like normally you won't go through Hunter rank 1 to 999, and even further back in the game it was SR rank, like 999. Like you needed to reach both of these to get to G rank. Like you need to grind 999 levels twice to get to G rank. Just think about it. Obviously there's a lot of quests in between there. You need to grind and play, and they compress this all into this little ranks. This is the reason why you see, for example, on Hunter rank 2, Elder Dragons. A lot of people are getting confused. Why the heck is the Elder Dragons in the Hunter rank 2? Like 2 stars, which is normally like completely low rank in like stuff like Monster Hunter Unite, for example, right? You don't encounter Elder Dragons until like 6 stars or 7 stars or something. Yeah, you see what the compression did here, right? So pretty much pushing everything together and very tight together. And obviously with the key quests being only 3 or something per rank, it skips all this content anyway, so you don't even notice maybe. Very unfortunate, but with this key quest changes, it pretty much tries to tackle the progression a bit. Like you have a better feeling of progression, actually going to a rank, battling all these monsters, and overcoming the challenges in these. For example, Hunter rank 5 has a lot of exclusive frontier monsters and experiences, which you don't see usually, but obviously you have millions of key quests in Hunter rank 5 here, which is, yeah, welcome to Frontier. But it's literally every exclusive monster from this rank to introduce you to it, because you will fight most of these in Hunter rank G rank anyway. So getting used to them now and how they work and how they fight is like probably better than later getting your ass handed over in G rank even more. Right, rambling about that, we're gonna go to the workshop now. Remember when I said the armor spheres are the only material to upgrade? Well, this was a change in Vanilla from the compression, because they usually used monster materials in retail to upgrade your armor on every level. Not only the tier changes, but every level. If we go now here and we just do the Simply Westport quest, right? And then upgrade it. You will see you need actually monster materials to upgrade these armors to reflect actually the strengthening process of these armors, which is in my opinion way better. This is for Malkia's balance patch. He literally just like reverted the armor sphere changes back to the monster materials that was back then. This gives you like a way better feeling if you need to grind actually materials and play the game to get your progression in armor. It has a little slight downside and it can get very grindy. These setups are usually meant for MMO grind to keep you playing long as possible, of course. And these are the retail original setups or like material setups you need to upgrade these armors usually. That's what Malkir copied in. And I made a little optional patch for this. You can install like a material cost patch on top of this. So all these materials, like if you have something like Elder Dragon wings for one level, like 5 times, you obviously, if you do an entire set, you need to multiply this by 5 because each set piece of an armor shares the same upgrade table. So let's say you have 5 Elder Dragon wings to farm, or Camellius Jevels. Let's say like you need 2 Camellius Jevels for armbrust part, right? And then you go to the chest piece, you need another 2 for the same level. That's only 1 level. And there's like 7 levels per armor to get to the next tier. So now you see how this ramps up pretty quickly in terms of time investment. That's a lot. And not everyone wants to commit to that. Obviously the armor changes, like the armor upgrades are important, like to upgrade your equipment. So the patch I did was pretty much setting these materials as the same materials as Malkir set. I just set them to the minimum bare bounds materials and added back armor spheres for good measures. This means like you have monster materials now in and the armor spheres from before, so you have a mix match which is way better and way more enjoyable. And with minimum I mean instead of like 5 jewels you need like mostly 1 jewel, and then multiplying this by 5 it's like mostly 5 jewel instead of 20 for the upgrade of the entire level set. It still has like some issues, like some tables are just completely trash. And yeah, this will be fixed at like my patch probably later, separately. But just a heads up for you to clarify that. On the other hand, there's also the Navi changes. I can't show them off right now again, because Navi is a bit weird for me right now with the files. And pretty much a Navi reward removes the free equipment you usually get. For example, a lot of people are like confused about the GR changes. This is very important. The translation of this entire Navi, Hunter Navi thing, and the changes done to the rewards to remove free equipment to make you OP as soon as possible were made simultaneously by 2 different people, so the changes are not reflected in the translations. So let me see where it is. So of course here, G-rank welcoming quests, blah blah. Make a G-rank more. Where's the weapon thing? Here. The game wants you to make a G-rank weapon, and normally they want like a very strong G-rank weapon for free, because they normally give you the materials for it immediately. But from the Navi reward changes, they don't give you this stuff for free. So you need to farm actually and do like the quests a few times to get this materials. There's quests for this, like it's not just gone. You just need to actually work for it. Like, you don't get it free. That is the change pretty much. Like, they don't give you the stuff for free. You need to actually play and get it yourself. That's the change to the Navi. And the thing, a lot of people are confused. Like, this stuff is not completely reflected in the translations of the Hunter Navi reward, because it was done separately, as I said. But it is there. You just need to look through and dive a bit more into the game. Also recently, there's a new patch available by Dion Mitt from the Mice Team 2. And he pretty much adjusted and rebalanced the monster stats, which is another way to tackle this in. It's also an optional patch, and pretty much makes the nerfs Capcom did to the monsters pre-G rank and Z1 and Z2, reverting them back to a more faithful experience. And it is a difference of day and night, let me tell you that. For sure. Like, it is way more balanced, and way more enjoyable to play, actually. So that is the stuff around the community edition, pretty much. Lastly, we will go over my 2.0 rebalance patch. And there's a little bit more to that than just these changes, but we're gonna go over that when I switched files. Alright, now we are back with my balance patch 2.0, or like 2.1 with the bug fixes, whatever. And this patch is shaking it a little bit more up than just the things you saw. I'm not sure where to start, actually. We just go through, I guess. First of all, it has included the material cost reduction for Malkir's materials, as I mentioned in the community edition. Like armor is gonna use the bare minimum of upgrades, and using also the armors, and also using the materials added by Malkir. In addition to that, I will rework all the recipes anyway. Like, I'm gonna completely rework the recipes to a more faithful experience. Making it slightly easier on the lower levels, and then gradually getting better and harder on going forward. But keeping also intact the thematic and topics of the armor. For example, I included a rework I did for the, where is it, Akura F-Path. Where we have it? Here, the Akura Mail. Let's do that. And this recipe path I completely changed. Like, now you're thinking, wait, what? That's only an atmosphere. Wait, that's only the first level. But as you can see here on the next level, it gets harder. Like, the thematic here will be the same, staying to the armor. Like, with the old system, there will be like some random stuff like Elder Dragon materials you need to upgrade this armor from like to the next tier, which didn't make much sense to me, so I thought I make a more faithful experience and keep the thematic of the armor. This is obviously an Akura armor, which is a Carapacion based armor, and obviously the scorpions are like ore based, so I included a bunch of different ores which are like getting reflecting on the level of the armor harder with time too. So this is what I was going to stay with it, and pretty much obviously the first levels are like super easy. Don't mind this. This is actually a slip up I'm gonna fix. Yeah, but pretty much you're gonna upgrade these. Like, for me personally, it feels like way better having like a strict structure and a strict pattern to these upgrades to progressively see like the changes, the differences, and it's not as boring as farming 20 times Kushala the Aura for this one claw you need, right? So it diverses the gameplay a bit. You need to farm different things, which are all in the category of the same thing. Like, there's some Daimyo, Shogun materials in there, even Tycoon Zamuza materials in there, because it's all Carapacion based. So if you run out of simple materials for actually Akura, we switch over to other Carapacion based monsters, pretty much. That is what will come for all of them. Even weapons. I will even rework, like, probably not as much, because weapons are pretty much fine for the most part. But this will come for any equipment, even G-rank stuff, because right now, even with Malkir's balance patch, the material changes are just for the pre-G-rank stuff. Like, G-rank is as grindy as ever. Always was. Even in vanilla. I maybe forgot to mention that, but yeah. Then we have also changes to the progression key quests. Yes, it is a different key quest list than from the community edition. Even more so with 2.0. 2.0 shakes up the key quest quite a bit. For example, you see now here is a Rathian, which is normally in 2-star quests, but I put it here because I resorted some of the quests and made it like a bit more progression curvy. Of course, the monsters are all in the same tier. Like, I didn't put like high rank monsters into low rank, for example. The only exception here is White Spinners, for example, because White Spinners is now the key quest, the urgent quest, I mean, to Hunter rank 5. I found it weird that you like fight all these like insane monsters beside Akura Vashimu in this rank here. And then on top of it, you have Akura Vashimu as urgent. I'm like, I don't know, it felt weird. So I changed White Spinners to be D urgent to Hunter rank 5, and Hunter rank 6 has the urgent to Hunter rank 6 is repelling Guan Zemuru. This feels just a little bit better. Beside that, I obviously also changed the key quest, and as you can see here now, Hunter rank 5 and 6 are split up into, yeah, these two ranks. Like Hunter rank 5 is split up now into these two ranks. As you saw in the community edition part, there was 92 quests in this rank and a plethora, like 22 key quests or something, and I changed this, splitting up these key quests, like a bunch of the Hunter rank 5 key quests, and delaying them by one rank into the Hunter rank 6. Just so to take off the bloated values of Hunter rank 5, having like less bloated stuff, because Hunter rank 6 is normally just 6 monsters, which are very hard, don't underestimate them, but it's very weird, and I thought that's kind of like a waste of an entire rank. So I just split up Hunter rank 5 quests into Hunter rank 6, and resorted this pretty much. It gives a bit of experience in progression and less stress and trouble in Hunter rank 5, but also obviously changes how the way you approach and play those ranks. Like, if you played this game for a few times already, maybe on different accounts or different characters, trying stuff out, and you did always the same in progression-wise, like Hunter rank 5, equipments, weapons, well, now you maybe need to rethink your strategy and approach this differently, because some monsters are only available in Hunter rank 6, and you need to get to Hunter rank 5 with different options available to you. It is the same options in the end, it just delays by one rank pretty much, so you need to make different choices depending on the progression. With 2.0 also though, there's changes to the combo shop. Something you probably won't expect as much, but yes, the combo shop special combined section has new recipes. Frontier has a lot of consumable items actually, like different special consumable items like ultra hot drinks, ultra cool drinks, high speed whetstones, perfect whetstones. Like, these items are normally like pretty hard accessible for just casual playing this game. They're not introduced to you at all, they're just there, but you don't get like pretty much them thrown into your face. Some are like available in certain shops and certain way arounds. Some are just pay exclusive, like the skill fruits for example. And I wanted to introduce these items more to the player. So I added the items which are normally not available in like different shops like Guild Shop or the Cat Market on your Poogie Farm, and added them here with recipes. This has a clear structure. I added like 3 recipes normally, not all of them, but I added like 3 recipes to them, which get progressively harder but also yield you more. The structure is pretty much here that we start with low rank, high rank materials, then we go Gu rank materials usually, and then we go with G rank materials, where G rank materials obviously bring you the most items, like up to like 5 to 10 items per craft. That's why the items are so weird. Like, as you can see here, if I give you recipe 1, which is the easiest one, yields you 1 to 3 items, but it's also pretty easy with just hot drink and hot pepper. Then you have recipe 2, which actually wants you to have hot meat, but you get up to 2 to 5 per crafting, which is very nice. And I can't check this out right now because of... Wait, actually we can just buy a hot drink real quick. There we go. Then I show you the difference here. And if you go recipe 3, it's 5 to 10 results per crafting. But obviously, as you can see, this one needs a flame sack per craft. But I guess the return and craft value here is like very nice. This can be obviously changed in the future, and there can be more stuff added to these recipes, because normally there's only just large lucky charms and like 5 million different recipes here, which is also a very huge waste in my opinion. So reworking this to have more stuff accessible, even like maybe later unobtainable items, like crafting them with certain other items, like is a very good opportunity to put in here. But this is more for later, because I want to rework all the shop economy to like play into each other's hands and having specific places to get specific stuff, and not like overlapping and then making stuff obsolete, like one shop obsolete over the other one, which Road Shop, for example, is. I added, as you saw, I added the combo special recipes, which need fruits as a base. Those fruits are all like available in low rank. You can just grind them with gathering. But these points, these fruits have a chance, and not everyone wants to farm them regularly like classic old grinding. So I also gave them a spot in the gateable sections of the road shop with my update, if you decide to add it, because this is obviously server-side stuff, so it's customizable. But as you can see here, I added like the flounder fruit, the camo fruit, and the mochi mochi fruit for the different recipes, which you can buy in packs of 100 or like 1000 points. Of course, balance reasons. And then I also changed some previous recipes, like ritual books and small bone husk, etc. I made them more balanced, because right now like bone husks, small and big, are like 10,000 for like no points at all. So I made this a bit more reasonable, and yeah, putting it more in a state of a playable game and not like some crazy OP shit, right? Then, before we go to the core of this patch, which a lot of people are wanting this patch for, pretty much, is the progression packages I added. When I released this patch for the first time, like 1.0, this system was not like fully working yet, so I can't do it. But with the 2.0 now and fully working reward system, or like distribution system it's called, I decided to actually add progression rewards. Yes, progression rewards. Who will thought that, right? Pretty basically, I changed the normal, like the default ones. Like the default ones are equipment pages and restyle points. Like you get 99 restyle points, I think, as soon as you get in the game, and you can claim this 20 item box pages and equipment box pages for free, pretty much, just like that. And then there was also one added by Wish for getting all the Poogie outfits, which is a bit overshot, I think. Like premium outfits are understandable. They were like, I think, pay to win, like getting them. But you get them as soon as you get into the game, and there's no reason to like actually use the point mechanic to buy Poogie outfits at the manager in your Poogie farm, which I found a bit sad. So I removed that and included Poogie outfits across the progression packages. Like as you can see here, I have for Hunter rank 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, G rank 1, 11, 21, etc. This makes sense in a second, but each of these packages has pretty much a little care package with like different items, but also, very importantly, Poogie outfits. Half of the normal Poogie outfits will be available in the progression package 2 to 6 Hunter rank. And then with GR1 to 350 packages, there will be premium outfits. Why only half of the normal ones? So you actually have something to buy with the Poogie points. Because I also added the quests to farm certain things. I added event quests you can do to farm goo tickets, for example, here, with which are GCP points, of course. And you can just farm this quest to get grinding goo tickets, for example. It is percentage based, it's not guaranteed rewards, so keep that in mind. But we also have that for G rank, which has the Sheetan tickets, the My Mission tickets, and the Poogie tickets. Good, then we can come to the core point of the balance patch, which a lot of people use it for. It's the G rank progression. One thing I forgot to mention actually in the vanilla version is G rank progression. G rank has no pretty much direction. The only direction is the Hunter Navi. That is the only hints and pretty much guide you get to kind of like trying to introduce you to all the different G rank aspects and whatever. But there's no real progression. As soon as you reach G rank, everything is unlocked from the get-go. Like all the stuff you see here is just there. You can access G7 quests as soon as you get in there, and they're only meant, like you can do them with GR level 1. If you're like me, you like progression and unlocking content bit by bit. Of course, there's limitations to this, and the most ideal way for me, and I will rework this if it will be available, but having like key quests and urgent quests and G rank is probably like the top ideal way to do this. And if this becomes available in the future, I will rework this. But for now, I needed to do like some artificial system, which is not the best, but it's pretty manageable, I guess. And it was a lot of work, so please bear with me, right? First of all, I did relocate all these G rank quests, so it's probably easier to show you in the actually vanilla files, but I'm just gonna explain it here right now. So pretty much how this works is G rank has up to, I think, I don't know, like 6 to 7 unique monsters, like unique monster encounters per rank, and then it has like a bunch of duplicate quests for nearly every monster, which is the same fight, just at different locales, and bloats up their ranks pretty much. It was a bit confusing for me, and I thought like, yo, I'm gonna like thin this a bit down. So I relocated quests and moved them like to evenly across all these ranks, like 1 to 7. So there's not like something happening like, oh, there's only 4 different monsters in rank 4 and like 7 different monsters in the rank 5, for example, right? Another unique thing is every G rank has one exclusive G rank monster introduced in these ranks. I kept them this way because it feels like a special, and they have the purpose of serving as the artificial urgent quest. Like, I'm gonna come to this in a second. The duplicate quests I pretty much just removed from the ranks and put them into the G material rank, which is just that. All the duplicate quests, which have the purpose of just grinding materials for this specific monster, are in here now. The reason for that is because these ones don't give GRP points because of the new GRP system. Talking about the relocation and like resorting of these ranks, how does this actually work, the progression, the artificial progression? If you go into the ranks now, you see different GR levels. Like, I locked the content of the G ranks behind GR levels. The only thing which is locked like behind GSR is, I think, Zeniths. Like, it was like 200, 400, 600, and 800 for Zenith 1, 2, 3, 4 respectively. So you needed to grind that, and the game gives you per quest GRP points. These points are very low. Like, as a comparison, if you farm GRP points with like no boost or anything and grind, you need at GR31, I think, was it? Yeah, GR31, like something around 6 or more K per G rank, like 1 G rank level. And the highest GRP points you got from like normal quests, with a special event quest or something, was from Musos, which are the hardest content in the game, as some people know, and those gave like 6,000 GRP points per quest. So now you can kind of calculate and trying to get a grasp of the insane grind you needed to do. Because G rank has GR levels, which are your rank levels, and GSR levels, which are GR level ranks for your weapon type. Yes, each weapon type has its own G rank level and functions the same way as GR levels for General or Hunter. You can grind up your GSR up to 999 too for each weapon type. This unlocks certain buffs and other things, but now imagine grinding like multiple armors or whatever with the vanilla rates. Bam! Pretty painful. That is why I changed all the GRP gains on this patch. This means that if you just normally play to the progression, the G rank progression, you don't need any boost or whatsoever, because the quests get progressively higher in terms of points they rewarded. As you can see here, you get 125, 200, 900, and later down the line, here, you get actually more than you will get back in the days for Muso. This means you can just normally play and reach higher ranks of GR levels without grinding like 500 million Musos or special event quests, which give like 8,000 points maybe, for just getting this ranks up. You can just play through the content, unlock the content with the GR levels bit by bit, and then at the end of it, you have enough GR levels to just have unlocked nearly everything, and then you need maybe to do a little farming for the endgame content like Musos. That can be easily done with the raids. You don't need to like do the same quests over and over again. You can just choose whatever you want and still get a good amount of GRP points on these. This means like you can at the same time get better equipment and farm GR levels naturally, more organically, and less like dull brain mashing grinding. Keeping this in mind, how the system works now is I lock them behind different levels. This is in bits, and let's call them batches, right? Or like tiers. You like have different GR level tiers. As you can see here, we have GR level 1, GR level 2, GR level 3, and then the last quest is GR level 4. How this works is all the GR1 quests give the same amount of GRP points, and it is divided between these quests. Like we have 4 GR1 points. I divided the amount of points you need to reach the next tier here, like GR2 for example. I divided those points between these 4 quests. This means if you do 4 of these quests, and it doesn't matter how you do it, you can do each of these quests once, or you do like 3 times Eodrome, 1 time Gendrome, 2 times Gendrome, or 2 times Bulldrome. Doesn't matter. As long as you do the same amount of quests available in this GR level tier, you get enough to get to the next one. It's done this way, so it gives you the freedom to find what you like. Like, let's say you have only, like, as you can see here, you have only like 3 different quests available, like Ian Kutku, SephVII, Kongalala. Maybe you hate Kongalala to the end, you don't want to fight him at all. Well, then you have the choice to just do these quests, like you do 2 times Kutku and 1 time SephVII. Bam! You get the same results as if you will do like 1 Ian Kutku, SephVII, and Kongalala. So it gives you the freedom to choose how you approach this, while at the same time giving like people who like strict or like structured progression the opportunity to just experience, or like that was the main purpose actually, like introducing you to all these different G rank fights. across the board. Because G rank fights are obviously different than low rank and high rank fights you fought before, and all these monsters you knew have like new movesets under like different strengths, right? So it's pretty nice to go through this progression while organically just leveling, and it's a lot better, trust me. Good. Having this in mind now, the last quest is usually the exclusive monster you have in this rank. In this rank it's Pokaradon, and I kept them as the artificial urgent quests. Well, now the smart people like connect dots here and say, well, what do stop me from just, you know, grinding enough points to reach the next tier in G2 star quests? Like, I can just grind the other quests outside of the Pokaradon quest, for example. Like, I just farm enough points to just get here, right? To, what is it here? G rank 5. It's that easy, right? Well, yeah, and that is why I try to enforce these quests as little urgents. So you need to fight them at least once to get permits. What are permits, you ask? Well, as you can see here, these last quests are the artificial urgents and give you permits you need to participate in the next tier of quests. You get from the Pokaradon G2 permits, which are needed for all the G2 rank quests. As you can see here, you need 1 permit to participate or use and do these quests. But this is the same schematic for the rest of the ranks. As you can see here, you have the artificial urgent in G2, which is Farunoku, and he needs a G2 permit to participate, but he also gives in return the G3 permits needed for the next rank. Permit system can be a bit complicated maybe for some people, but it's actually very simple. And this goes through the entire ranks, up to a legend rank and then Zenith rank. Musos don't have a specific permit because I found it like pretty unnecessary since it just end game challenge content. So this is how the progression works in G rank. Then after 7 I did a new rank called legend rank. Because I didn't want to call it G8 star quests for the reason that Musos are 8-star quests, and it maybe gets a bit confusing if that is the case. So I was like, I need to come up with something different, something special. So I just gone full edge mode here and called it Legend Rank. Legend Rank is pretty much just the next tier after G7 and the last like tier before Zenith ranks. So Legend ranks merged with the exotic and the burst origin ranks. As you can see here, they are gone. They're merged into the legend rank to have a normal progression with these quests. So these quests are not like separated, they're like all in this one rank. So you can just naturally just fight them in a progression curve. Like as you can see here, it goes up and has all the monsters included going up and up and up. The last one here is Elzelion then. This is the last wall and the urgent quest to Zenith permits. Don't get confused about this visual thing here, that's a bug I need to fix. But pretty much, he gives you the Zenith permits to participate at Zeniths later. That is pretty much the core, the G-rank progression is the core mechanic of my balance patch. And I maybe even separate this later from the balance patch because some people ask for that. They are only interested in the G-rank progression, but in this current state it's not that easy to just separate it. But switching to like clean files and stuff, I can probably have a separate patch just for that, because it won't change much after a certain point, so I can just like offer it as like an alternative. Good, that was a lot of rambling and talking again. I always want to do like shorter videos, but stuff like this takes time to explain without going too fast and then being super confused about stuff again. But I hope I did this in a good way, somewhat, and it should help you to decide what is the right choice for you in terms of patches and what do you want to do. Good. I'm recording over an hour already again, so I hope it will be not that bad cutting down. But yeah, this is it for this video. Next up will be more guide videos, of course, going into more depth on that stuff. And I just hope this little video is a little helpful to you making decisions and does its job it's supposed to be. I say thanks for listening in. I hope you all have a wonderful day, afternoon, or evening, whenever you are. And I'm gonna see you on the next video, stream, or Discord. Have a good one. I'm out. Bye bye.